Freire's 1996 article, Hints for Designing Effective Questionnaires, is a short list of tips for putting together effective questionnaires with explanations. There are 3 themes that these tips reveal. Do not overwhelm the respondent. Give the respondent an out when they do not have strong feelings on a question, but don't use a neutral position unless it would still give you useful data. Ask questions deliberately and logically. Do not waste your and the respondent's time with pointless questions. Do not overwhelm the respondent. This theme covers a variety of the points in the article. For example, keeping the questionnaire brief and concise. Also, avoiding scale point proliferation. Too many options are confusing. Combine them whenever possible. Likewise, avoid category proliferation. Think about what you really need to know and what categories are useful for your research. It usually isn't necessary to nitpick. The next theme is to give the respondent an out when they do not have strong feelings on a question, but don't use a neutral position unless it would still give you useful data. Put answers in that let people express uncertainty, like tend to agree or tend to disagree. Making someone commit to a strong feeling on a subject that they don't have strong feelings about is unnecessary. Also, try not to use other or neutral, as these might not really indicate neutral feelings, but rather some other problem with the question that the respondent can't express with the options they have. There are a variety of reasons that people choose these options, ranging from hair splitting to simply being ignorant of the topic at hand. Ask questions deliberately and logically. Do not waste your and the respondent's time with pointless questions. Test out your survey and get feedback before using it. Just like you would have someone look over your term paper before turning it in, get people to review your survey and point out problems. Don't over-ask. Freire says that the investigator must define precisely the information desired and endeavor to write as few questions as possible to obtain it. A clear-cut need for every question should be established. A survey with a lot of extraneous questions will just result in fewer finished surveys. Put categories in an order that makes sense. It seems like an obvious point, but imagine if they weren't. A scale from least to most seems to work best. Surveys and questionnaires are often an essential part of assessment. A poorly constructed data collection instrument can lead to problems with conducting an assessment. This article explains some of the common pitfalls that the author has identified. All of his points make sense, and his explanations and examples illustrate the points well. The theme of giving respondents an out is something that I had never really considered before, but I instantly realized that I often fall prey to hair splitting when answering survey questions, and giving a neutral answer simply because I don't agree with the precise wording of the question, even though I may agree with what I think is the intended question. This article would be useful to file away and glance over when making a survey instrument. My questions to you following this article overview would be: 1. Are any of these problems pet peeves of yours when it comes to taking or designing surveys? If so, what is a good alternative to avoid that problem? 2. What is a situation where a neutral or middle response would actually still yield useful data? The author gives at least one example in the article, but I didn't review it in this presentation for brevity's sake. 3. Have you ever started to fill out a survey, realized how long it was, and given up? Thank you!